WiseVAs, we're the ones you call when you're grinding hard and your back's against the wall. From the sunrise hustle to the midnight run, we keep it moving, making business fun. We got the brains, the drive, the will, knocking down tasks, going in for the kill. From data to deals, we handle it all, keeping you sharp, standing tall. WiseVAs, your behind-the-scenes crew, making it happen while you chase what's new. Smart, skilled, always on the grind, freeing your time so you can shine. From strategy to admin, we do it right, keeping your world running day and night. You lead the charge, we hold the line. WiseVAs, making your business shine. WiseVAs, making your business shine. From strategy to admin, we do it right, keeping your world running day and night. You lead the charge, we hold the line. WiseVAs, making your business shine. We're the ones you call when you're grinding hard and your back's against the wall. From sunrise hustle to the midnight run, we keep it moving, making business fun. We keep it moving, making business fun. We got the brains, the drive, the will, knocking down tasks, going in for the kill. From data to deals, we handle it all, keeping you sharp, standing tall. WiseVAs, your behind-the-scenes crew, making it happen while you chase what's new. Smart, skilled, always on the grind, freeing your time so you can shine. From strategy to admin, we do it right, keeping your world running day and night. You lead the charge, we hold the line. WiseVAs, making your business shine. We bridge the gap, connecting minds with every word and every chat. We're the pulse of progress, the voice of the wise, sharing insights, sparking minds, opening eyes. From research to practice, we break it down, turning complexity into knowledge renowned. Get smarter, get sharper with every listen. Ideas that grow, perspectives that glisten. From the lab to the farm, we're making waves. WiseNet, it's where the future is paved. We're more than just stories, we're learning in action, helping you stay ahead with every interaction. From the ground up, we build the flow. WiseNet, it's the place where knowledge grows. Ideas that grow, perspectives that glisten. From the lab to the farm, we're making waves. WiseNet, it's where the future is paved. WiseNet, knocking down tasks, going in for the kill. From data to deals, we handle it all, keeping you sharp, standing tall. Wise VAs, your behind the scenes crew, making it happen while you chase what's new. Smart, skilled, always on the grind, freeing your time so you can shine.
All right, welcome everyone. Good afternoon. Welcome to the Humans and AI, the New Way to Work, an event hosted by WiseVAs for business owners, founders, and operations leaders who are ready to streamline your operations. You want to delegate more intelligently and scale with confidence through the power of AI. So our mission today is simple. We're going to give you practical insights and a clear framework for how to integrate AI into your daily workflows while strengthening your partnership between you and your virtual assistant. By the end of the session, you're going to walk away with strategies to automate with intention, delegate effectively, and build a high-performing team that leverages both AI and the human experience to drive sustainable growth. I'm Lani Koontz. I'm an AI operator with Divvy Up Agency. I'm also the founder of KM Collective. We help businesses with AI solutions and consulting. And on behalf of the WiseVAs team, I'd like to thank everyone who's joining us today. We're excited to have you here for an afternoon full of valuable insights and real-world strategies. So I'm speaking from Honolulu, Hawaii, aloha, but I know we have attendees from all over the world today. Feel free to share where you are joining us in the chat. We love to see your locations. Okay, before we dive in, a quick reminder, if you have any questions or need anything or need assistance, you can drop your questions in the chat. We will be watching it, and definitely we'll have time later in the webinar to answer your questions. So with that, I'd love to introduce my amazing virtual assistant, my partner, my teammate, who works alongside me every day. Her name is Juliane Lima. She is an AI-trained operations specialist who helps businesses work smarter by building streamlined systems and operational structure using AI, but she does this all behind the scenes. It's amazing. So she combines human judgment with practical AI, and she turns all my messy workflows, my thoughts, everything into efficient, scalable processes. Through WiseVAs, Juliane supports clients in automating their repetitive, tightening operations, and creating the clarity teams need to move faster and delegate with confidence. Welcome, Juliane.
Thank you, Lani, for the introduction. I'm excited to share some valuable tips and valuable information with everybody today.
Awesome. Okay, so we're going to get started. So yes, Juliane and I have had the privilege of working together for quite some time. She also currently is working with multiple clients because she's a superwoman. And I love that, you know, in this age, we all know AI is the hype, right? We all know it's blowing up, it's the future. But what I love is that Juliane and other VAs that are trained through WiseVAs, they understand the importance of we still need humans in the loop. You know, we still need people to take the AI tool, which it's a tool, and we can use it to amplify and to make what we are doing 1,000 times more efficient through automations. But you can't just do that by a click of the button. You need a human, an AI operator or an AI, trained virtual assistant to help you in that process. So I'm just going to share a little story, just, if you guys are joining us and maybe you don't even have a virtual assistant yet, I'm just going to share a little bit of my personal experience coming from overwhelm, sitting in all the boxes of running a business, to the decision to partner with WiseVAs, get some virtual assistants, and just the weight that lifted off my shoulder. So several years ago, I was so happy I was able to start a new business in Oahu for the owner. So I wasn't the owner, but I was the director of operations. And it was great. But in any startup, it's like you are doing it all. I'm wearing all the hats. I'm doing marketing. I'm doing sales. I'm doing operations. I'm doing HR. And, it's fun for a bit, but then you get really burned out trying to do everything on your own. You're also the ones checking the email, answering the phones, handling any fires that happen. And then, we did well. And we did so well that then I was put in charge of another location all the way in California. So I'm trying to manage locally here in Hawaii, also, remotely managing another location in California. And I was like, oh my goodness, how am I going to be able to do both of these at the same level of excellence and, keep wearing all the hats? And so fortunate that our owner wanted to invest in WiseVAs. And so we got actually 2 incredible virtual assistants, one full-time for Oahu, one full-time for our Orange County territory. And it was such a game changer. We just brought them onto the team. We built the trust, we trained them, we took the time to really pour into their training. I think sometimes a challenge is, business owners, solopreneurs, entrepreneurs, we have the passion, we're the visionaries, and it takes some time to slow down and be able to train, just like you're onboarding a person that's locally with you on the team. You have to kind of do that same thing for your virtual assistant. So we brought them in, we really was intentional on the onboarding and training, so they really felt part of the team. But through that, you were able to figure out what can you delegate. There's so many things I feel like as busy owners, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs running a business that, you can delegate. You need to be able to focus on the things that only you can do well, which might be, selling what your service. It could be, talking to clients in person, but those emails, reporting, organizing, cleaning up your, your folders on your Gmail drive, like all that is good and it needs to be done, but it's so helpful when you can just delegate those things so that you can focus on the things that only you can do and is your passion. So I will say, working with virtual assistants like wonderful Juliane, they help create structure out of chaos. It's just so nice. It's such a weight lifted off my shoulders, knowing that, my emails are being checked every day. Nothing's falling through the cracks. Everything is organized. I can find what I need. Someone's keeping tabs on, even personal stuff for me. Like I had Juliane at the beginning of the school year. I was like, Juliane, I need your help. I need you to buy and order all my kids' school supplies. I have 3 kids, different, ages. And that's the worst, trying to figure out all the school supplies. And so I just gave her the list and she was able to, between like Walmart, Target, Amazon, she was able to do that for me. And it was such a game changer. And, those are just little things that, especially if you, are a working mom or a parent that is, the primary parent that has to take care of your children, also working, it's so nice that you have someone that can help take these things that are not difficult, but that just take a lot of time and just take it off your plate. It was amazing. So Juliane, I'm always super grateful to you for helping me with that. And it was just wonderful. So again, you have personal stuff. She also put all my PTA meetings on my calendar. I have like 4 different things I'm following. And she just was so great about making sure that, okay, Lani, don't forget you have this. Make sure that you're prepping for this webinar. Also, don't forget, you need to, sign these permission slip forms. Like it is great. It's honestly like just having another person in your brain that is helping you, so that instead of having to hold this all in your brain, like I just can't forget that, I don't want to forget that, you can just delegate it. You can download it to someone else, trust them to be able to handle it, and it just frees your mind. And then you're able to really just work in your genius, which was so great. I think, it was just a game changer. And if you're on this webinar, I hope that you are interested or you already have a virtual assistant. I just think that, anyone that is in a small business that wants something affordable, but really can just help be the game changer to like scale, like get to the next level. Maybe you were doing okay doing it all on your own, but there's no way that you can scale. Just like in my experience, when we went from just one location to that second location in California. There's no way I could have done it without the help of our virtual assistants to help us scale. So that's just a little, personal story from me that, how important and what a game changer virtual assistants are. Now, that was just a couple of years ago, right? Now we're in this age of AI, and just think about how much an amazing virtual assistant plus the power of AI multiplied. It is a double superpower. I think sometimes people are scared, like, oh my gosh, AI is going to replace humans. And you know what? Like, an AI is not going to replace a human, but a business that is utilizing humans and AI, they're the ones that might be your strongest competitor and take your business out. So it's super important not to be afraid. See AI as a tool, something that you need to lean in, understand, leverage it, but also understand in the same way that a busy owner, entrepreneur, it takes time to learn these tools. And there's so many AI tools out there. I know it can feel overwhelming. There's so much hype of like this, and it's new every day. AI is growing every day. Things that we couldn't even do a couple months ago, we're able to do. And so instead of you as the, owner, director of operations, business leader, trying to figure out it all, trying to keep track of the newest trends, the newest hype, the newest AI tool, what you need is a virtual assistant that can figure out all that mess, that knows the best systems to use. And, they can leverage that AI plus what they're doing to keep you on task and just really scale that business. So like I said, the problem is, it's like, as founders, we know AI can help. We've seen all the demos. We can see like all the amazing things, but us personally as a founder, we don't have time to implement all that. We don't have time to research every single thing. Your teams may be already overwhelmed with your processes that can be more streamlined or more organized. And I mean, how many of us have truly, and we can be honest here, confession time, how many of us have a real good like ops manual or SOPs, right? Is it still in your head as the founder? Is it maybe written down sort of? I feel like having a virtual assistant, they can come in, they can see all that you're doing. They're observing your processes. They can create it into an operations manual. They can create it into an SOP. And then that process, they can be accelerated using AI. So I just want you guys to get from overwhelmed to just really having clear steps of how you can leverage a virtual assistant plus AI to make real change in the business, not just spinning, not just the next flash in the pan, new hype with AI. Just what we're going to be going over today is real practical steps, clear steps, easy steps of how to actually make a difference with AI in your business. So again, the missing link isn't the tools. We have the tools now. There's so many amazing, powerful AI tools at our fingertips. What's missing or what's hard or the bottleneck is a human with the time, the understanding, the context of your business, and the consistency to be able to work with AI tools. And you don't have time to do that as the founder. You don't have time to learn all that. That person can be your VA. That is the right person, that secret or that, secret sauce, that part where they really bring everything together. They have the time, they have the skill set, they understand your business, and then they can use those tools just to amplify and just to take you to the next level. So have I sold you guys? So yeah, it is, so what we're talking about is just delegating to AI is, where the things actually work. And I've kind of been going over this a little bit, but, delegating to AI is, guys, if you're just using ChatGPT or Claude or Gemini just to ask like, where's the best ice cream place in Honolulu, you are not using AI to its full potential. You are like sitting in a super jet just sitting on the runway, not going anywhere, if that's the level that you're looking and using AI. And that's okay. Like, no judgment. This is a no judgment zone. I'm proud of you for even just attempting to engage with AI. And that's fine to start off with just like chatting with it, asking some questions. But just to let you guys know, there are so many deeper levels, so many ways that you can use AI rather than just like using ChatGPT as needed, or to think of something, or, oh, maybe there's this one email that I don't really know how to respond. Maybe ChatGPT can put it in. There is such a bigger picture of how you can use AI and your human VA to just automate and to make everything just like a well-oiled machine. So, you know, it's just important to really just embrace it, embrace this wave that we're on. You know, I think it's interesting that as humans today, you know, our generation, or the people that are here with us today as on this world, on this earth, never again are there going to be people that, you know, could live in a world before AI and after AI. So like all the babies born today and into the future, they're going to be living in a world, a society that has AI. And I think it's just so cool that we are the ones who are able to kind of live before AI. We take all this experience, our human, you know, expertise, and I think it's our responsibility, honestly, to guide and shape where AI will be for future generations. So anyway, sorry for getting deep with you guys on that. I just think it is a time, it is an opportunity to lean in, not be scared, look at it as a tool. It's not our friend. Okay. AI is not our friend, but it is a tool. It is a great tool that you can use and you can leverage. So again, like I've said before, why your VA should be the one that leads this kind of AI first in your company is because, like I said, if your virtual assistant's already living inside the daily operations, they see everything, they understand the mess, they understand your processes, they've tried to read your brain as the founder and get it kind of organized. The VA sees the repetitive tasks. They see how many emails, they see how many lead generators, they see how many social media posts, they see how many, you know, discovery calls or sales calls that you have. And the VA can spot the bottleneck. You know, sometimes I think when we're in the situation and we're not able to look outside, have that outside perspective, we don't even know sometimes that we're the bottleneck. We're just in there, we're just grinding, we're just doing the work of running our business, but we don't have time to work on the business. And I think by bringing in someone else, a human, they can kind of spot, hey, Lani, I think you don't have to be spending all your time responding to social media posts or spending all your time actually answering these emails they're basic, and that's something that, you know, a virtual assistant can do. They can spot those bottlenecks. And plus, the VAs have the bandwidth to do this. You know, you are hiring someone to, their only job is to help make your time, like give you back your time, right? And we say that AI is the great time giver backer, right? So I just made that up. But by doing things with AI and your VA, you're going to get so much time back. You're going to get so much time back that you can invest back into your business, or you can spend more time with your family. You can do what you want because you're not spending time doing the mundane, repetitive, manual tasks. So again, I hope I'm making it clear how important it is that you still need the human plus the AI, but that doesn't have to be you as the founder. Yeah, so delegating to AI just means designing workflows that the AI can do the heavy lifting, and then the VA manages the system. So as an AI operator, that's kind of a new term that is coming out. It's a new role, it's a new career, is you still need someone that's quarterbacking all the AI workflows, that's understanding what's happening, that's building the workflows, that's doing feedback loops, that's, testing it out, because we know, guys, we know that AI, even though it is getting super good, super accurate, it is still not, we're not ever going to be, I think, at the point where you just pop something in AI and it pops something out and you just send it out to a client without you looking at it. I feel like AI can get us 80% of the way. And then as humans, we finish it out. We do the 20% to refining, putting our expertise and getting us across that finish line. You might have the AI as our engine, like, if we're on that plane, right? The AI is actually the engine, but we are the pilot. We are the drivers. As humans, we are the thought leaders. We're not, just letting AI do whatever, take over that, because I think we still have to obviously use our brains. But just know that the AI can take the heavy lifting. It's stuff that would take your VA a long time to do before. Now, AI can do a lot of that heavy lifting, and the VA can manage the system and think about and look at other ways to like really just automate and make your whole business efficient. So yeah, just I hope you guys are switching your mindset and seeing the possibilities. That before, it was like a VA could do a lot of the heavy lifting, which is wonderful, which I experience, and it's the best ever. But what if you had the AI doing the really heavy lifting and your VA just managing it? And it is just mind blowing. So I hope like I said, I've convinced you guys, but I want to talk about some real life examples. I want to bring Juliane up here. She's the one really in the weeds, doing it all, doing it, practically with her clients. And so I'm just going to pass it over to Juliane.
Nice. Thank you, Lani. And you set the stage really well of, what delegating to AI is in a more broad way, bringing some examples as well. But I would love to share an actual example of one of my clients with you today. And this comes from a client project where we were using AI to recycle years of marketing content. So to give you some context here, this client had a platform starting over 10 years of marketing emails, and the goal was for us to reuse these emails in current years and seasons. So the process in the beginning looked something like we would research our database for past emails related to a seasonal event, like a turkey trot, for example, an event that they would put together every year. We would copy and paste that content manually. We would update the wording, adjust phrasing, change any dynamic details such as date, locations, and things like that. And then we would rebuild and schedule the new campaign. It was a lot of work. It was very time consuming. It was done manually, completely manually. And the bigger issue is that it was leaving a lot of room for error. Many times we would forget to update a link. We would forget to update a date or a place of an event. And not only that, but from a marketing perspective, it was just not best practice. We were sending the same email with the same copy every year, and that just wasn't looking good. So this is exactly the kind of repeatable, labor-heavy task that we want to delegate to AI, right? This is the kind of task that we want to look for in our daily operations. So let's see 3 different levels of how we could improve this operation by using AI. And this will be 3 levels going from like lightweight into heavyweight AI. So for the first level, we could just use a manual prompt, right? This is where most people start. I feel like this is where most of us might be at right now, which is using ChatGPT. When you have a task, you just run over there and just make a little prompt and ask for help with a specific task. So in this case, our workflow would look something like we would pull an old email from the database, we would paste it into ChatGPT, ask for a refresh version. We would maybe be specific in like asking it to use a specific tone or fixing phrasing, adding some new details. ChatGPT will produce the rewrite, will review it. You would have to make edits if needed, would have to do some formatting, and then you would reschedule the new campaign. It's a great starting point. Again, this is probably where most of us might be at with using ChatGPT. It works and it is helpful, but still requires that you create a prompt every single time you need to perform that task. And that makes the output inconsistent, right? If every time you're asking ChatGPT to do something in a different way, even if slightly, the outcomes are not going to be consistent. And that's something that's very important for in marketing email, for example. So we could take that to a next level, right? We could maybe move it to level 2, which would be an intermediate level here, which would be using a custom GPT. At this level, we build a reusable tool, right? A custom GPT tailored specifically to this task. And for those who are not familiar with a custom GPT, what that is, it's a tool that allows you to create a detailed permanent prompt where you can include things like your brand voice, writing structure, vocabulary preferences, and a range of different specs for that specific task, right? But the key here is that is reusable. It might sound like a lot of work to build this kind of custom GPT, this kind of like master prompt, but once you build it, the process of doing that task will become much more efficient, and it's going to save you hours down the line over time. All right, so the workflow here would look something like creating the custom GPT, like we mentioned. We would paste an old email in that custom GPT, receive a refreshed version on brand with the format that you specifically asked for. You could make minor edits if needed. Sometimes they're not even needed. And then you schedule the campaign. This is actually looking much better. Now we're building a system instead of starting from scratch every time. This is fast, consistent, and reliable. We can take that to a next level. If we move to a level 3, we can actually automate content pipeline. So here's where things become scalable. This is like the highest level, and this is where for some tasks, and I'm going to talk about a little bit about this a little bit ahead. For some tasks, this is where you want to go. Keep in mind that it's not for all tasks. Not all tasks require automations. But all right, in this specific client project, the original database didn't integrate with Zapier. Zapier is, for those who doesn't know too, it's a platform to create automations, right? And some other platforms and tools can be integrated into Zapier, making things and the setup much easier and smooth. But in this case, for this client, it didn't. So our workaround was to bring that database into a Google Sheet, which again, initially it was time consuming. It was manual as well, the setup. But once we had it in place, it worked wonderfully. All right, so we brought that database into the Google Sheet. From the Google Sheet, the automation will pull a specific email to that custom GPT that we built in level 2. The GPT will rewrite the email using the established brand rules that we used. We'll update a version in the spreadsheet. So we're creating a new version of it in the spreadsheet too, increasing our database. And now we have an automated pipeline that refreshes emails in batches with minimal manual effort. And we also generate a brand new library of updated emails for future use. Depending on your skill level, you can continue the automation by triggering the email sequence after review. One thing to keep in mind is that we still need to review it. Every time you create AI generated content, it's very important that we review and that we make sure that there aren't any errors or, you know, things that are not aligned with your brand, with your tone. LLM can make errors. And again, like Lani was mentioning earlier, the human piece is important in places like this. All right, so yeah, at this stage, you have weeks of refreshed content, minimal human involvement, just doing some reviewing. And this is where AI becomes the engine, like Lani was talking about, and the VA becomes the operator, right? And that's when leadership can focus on strategy rather than repetitive execution. So these are 3 levels. Of course, this can be done in many, many different ways. It's just an example of how this specific task was handled or could be handled, but you can be creative. And if you're wondering what else can be delegated to AI, we can see here a few more examples broken down by levels, right? On a first level, simple tasks, like Lani was saying, we're all using this by now, I think, which is drafting responses, turning voice notes into tasks, organizing messy notes. This is where when you go to ChatGPT for a single a short task and not something that is repeatable. On a level 2, we're creating systems, right? Think about it as the custom GPTs. That would be basically your level 2. For this, we will have SOP builders, monthly social content calendar, repurposing content into multiple formats, like the example I just gave. And at a level 3, you can think of automation, right? Automated reporting, comment to content workflows, weekly newsletter workflow as well. Keeping in mind that, of course, you want to start just dipping your toes into it. And it's great if you just start with level 1 and you start moving your way, working your way up to different levels of utilizing AI. But the important thing here is that once you start creating systems, building systems like custom GPTs, it's important that you know how to prompt well for LLM, right? The more clear and more specific you are in your prompts, the better the output will be. And this is something you can play around with. You can test it out. You can make a 1-line prompt for a task and then go and spend some time and create like a couple of paragraphs prompt for the same specific task. And you can see it's day and night difference between those two when it comes to outcomes. All right, so before we wrap up here with the examples, I feel like it's also important to mention that these 3 levels are not meant to represent a progression necessarily. It will represent a progression in skills that you or a VA need to develop, but it's not like a task, all tasks, like I was mentioning before, have to be at a level 3, right? Higher levels are not always the right choice for a specific task. So instead, think of them as different tools for different jobs. So the key is to be mindful and strategic. The gold standard is actually to choose the lowest level. It might be counterintuitive, but it is to choose the lowest level that effectively solves the problem. Not every task should or needs to be automated. The goal is not to use more AI necessarily, but to use AI smartly so the effort matches the value, if that makes sense. All right. Hope that's helpful. I'm going to give it back to Lani so we can have some reflections. So Lani, if you want
Awesome.
to jump in.
I got it. Good job, Juliane. Thank you so much. I love how you broke it down in the different levels. You're so right. We have to be mindful of matching the task with the level, because like you said, not everything's going to necessarily be a level 3 where it can be fully automated. It's just, you might have really nuanced responses to emails, or really, specific kind of the scenarios change and they switch. So that's not going to be a good candidate for something automated. It is something that maybe, you could have a custom GPT where it is repeatable, but you need more kind of the hands-on working and massaging it. But then you do have lots of things that if you can, leverage all the kind of low-hanging fruit, the simple repeatable tasks to an auto workflow at a level 3, it is just going to open it up, save you so much. And I think it's really cool, like with platforms like Zapier or Make. I like relay.app personally. You can easily put a human in the loop step. So, like in your example where you guys are repurposing these email campaigns, it can just like a literally human in the loop step is that it just sends like the VA or the person who's in charge like an email or a Slack message saying, okay, this email is good. You can like literally read it from that platform and say approve, and then it will keep going. So I just think things are getting easier and easier to integrate the human in the loop with the AI doing the automations. And yeah, it's really exciting just to see where we're at. So I know we do have some questions, and one of the first questions is, I think this is someone who's watching us live, is what's the most common mistake you see when leaders try to delegate with AI? Thank you. I don't know if that's Ali, but thank you so much. That is a great question. I have some thoughts. I don't know, Juliane, if you have some thoughts as well, but I think I'll just start us off. I think the first thing is they don't know how to do their prompts. And I know Juliane did this a little, like she talked about a little bit. So a prompt is the instruction that you put into like that little bar when you're interacting with ChatGPT or your AI of choice. And when we say LLM, that just means a large language model. So it's just another word for ChatGPT or Claude or Gemini. Gemini's the Google, Claude's its own thing, and ChatGPT is its own thing. So if you don't have a good prompt, you're not going to get a great output. Garbage in, garbage out. So I think sometimes when a leader's trying to start with this and they start delegating, they might just be like, oh, make this sound warm and professional. But you can get so much more detailed. You can say, I need it in 250 words. I want it in a bullet point format. I want you to add a call to action. The prompt is so, it's like the most important thing when you are really trying to get something that's honed in, that's tight, that matches your tone, your brand of your business. I mean, I think we all know, or we can tell sometimes when something's been AI generated, there's a bunch of emojis, or there's just the formatting might look a little, like stiff, but you can really put a lot into your prompt that will help make it really, really sound like you. And you know what? Instead of you thinking, okay, how do I make this prompt better? Just put that into ChatGPT. You always want to say like act as a, so you're giving the ChatGPT a role. So you can say like act as an expert AI prompt creator. Help me turn this prompt. I want you to make my email sound more like me into a very detailed, excellent, best prompt you can use. And then the AI will actually help you. So I think sometimes to remember, it's like this weird, like, when you don't know, you can utilize AI to help you. So we're really not alone. Like, I know it might feel overwhelming. You're not sure where to start, but just know that you have the resources there as leaders to, figure this stuff out. Juliane, did you want to add anything to that? This was the question.
Sure.
What's a common mistake?
Right, because What you're saying there, it's completely right. Like prompting the right way will take you like miles ahead. And to what you were saying, I'm going to add that you can also talk to let's say ChatGPT, right? Use it as a conversation. Tell the platform that, ask me questions. Like, I want to do this and this and that. I want this caption for a social media post to have my tone. Ask me any questions that you need to help me achieve that. So having the ChatGPT ask you the questions that it needs to achieve the output that you want, it's a really smart way to do it too.
I love that. Yeah, you can have them ask you questions, like, and it guides you.
Exactly. That's something that I do in almost all of my prompts is I give the instructions. I say what I want to achieve there. And I don't ask ChatGPT to give me the output straight up. I ask him to ask me questions so it can have all the information, because I might have missed something, right? I might bring some context, but I might be missing some key important information or details that it needs to create a really, really strong output. So I always ask it to ask me any questions that it needs, and then give me the final output.
Love that.
So
I love that.
step.
Okay, we have a couple more questions. Another one. What signs do you see that a team isn't using AI in the most effective way yet? Thank you, Web Brand Crick 90. Okay, so what signs do I see? Like, so if I'm looking or doing an audit, maybe of a small business, I think for me, one kind of highlight or yellow flag is, and this is so simple, guys, if you are not using an AI note taker in your Zoom, your Google Meet, your virtual calls, you are not, that is a very, very basic, easy way to capture so much. So an AI note taker, there's different platforms. I personally use fireflies.ai. There's Fandom, there's Otter, there's other platforms, but I use fireflies.ai. It comes into your Zoom call, like let's say you're with a client. You guys have, if you are currently on Zoom calls, you might see people have it. And the great thing is it not only records, what's going on, it also has a transcript and a summary of the meeting. And why that's important is because right now, AI is not and I'm sure it's going to happen in the near future, just the way that AI is growing. But right now, AI does not have the ability to, like, if I just gave it a link of a YouTube or a video, it can't play that clip or that video and then extract the transcript. But if you have the AI note taker with you in your meetings, it has a full transcript, and those words. Okay, so AI, LLM are built on words and text. So if you have a transcript of your discovery call with your client, or a sales call, or a strategic, meeting with your exec team, first of all, you can really be present in the meeting. You don't have to be worried about catching every single thing that's happening. I mean, I do think sometimes it is helpful to still take a few handwritten notes just for yourself to be engaged, but you don't have to be worried, like, am I getting all the details, because you have your AI note taker. But then you take that transcript, you put it into a custom GPT, or you put it into just a one-off chat, and it can just blow your mind. It can organize it all. It can give you next steps. It can put it in an outline. It can really do a lot. Like, it is just so great what an AI note taker can do. So if you don't have an AI note taker then in your business, then I know that is one big way that you can grow and use it in an effective way. How about you, Juliane? Can you think of any other signs that for you it says, like, oh, hey, a team's not really using AI to its max?
Well, yeah, I think an easy way to spot it is if you think about the reason why you decided to use AI in the first place, which would be save time, let's say, right? To be more efficient. And you're using AI and you're not saving time, you're not being more efficient, you're still having to redo work multiple times, then that's a sign that you're not using AI to the fullest, right? At its best and most effective way. So if you feel like you're using AI, but you're not seeing the results, maybe it's time to reevaluate the way that you're using AI. One thing that we talked about was maybe you're using a different level of AI there for that specific task that it's not required. Maybe it's too low or maybe it's too high. So yeah, think about that. If you're using something, if you're using AI or any tools really, that it's not giving you the helping you achieve the goal that you started using it in the first place for, then why are you using it? Right?
I love that.
Think about it, reevaluate, change your strategy, and make it really work for you.
I love that. That is such great insight. I think something that's super important with any kind of new hype, new tool, it's kind of fun, to like play with it and see what it does. But at the end of the day, if it's not usable or useful, it's not helping you. And I think that's right. Like, we don't need to take things to the crazy bells and whistles and just because we built an app to do this. If it's not usable or useful, it's not helping you. And I think at the end of the day, you're right, Juliane. How is it saving? It's your ROI, right? How is it saving you time and money? How is it saving you time and making you money? That is a real test of how you're using AI to be most effective. So I think it's a great balance. Like, just because we have access to all these things doesn't mean we have to do a million things with it. Just do what is helpful for you to save you time, and being mindful of that and discerning. I think that's great. Thank you for that question. Okay, another question. How can I encourage a client that I work with to implement AI if they don't use it in their daily routine? Thank you, Gabrielle. That is a great question. I do think, because like I kind of talked about, we're in this time where, like, I would say, like, public opinion or maybe people are feeling a little bit more comfortable with AI. It could be two different generations are feeling more comfortable or kind of less comfortable with it. So what do you do when you're working with a client and they're like, I don't know, for just some reason they're not open to it, or just they don't know how to use it? I think I would just start super simple. I would just actually show them a demo of, hey, look, if we're working on, it could be even something like, doesn't even have to be business if that's going to be like too intimidating for them. You can literally be like, hey, I found a really cool way to use AI. I didn't know what to make for dinner the other night. So I took a picture of just my fridge, my open fridge, and I put it into ChatGPT, literally just the picture. And I said, help me figure out what to make with only what you see in my fridge that is going to be good for 5 people and 3 picky kid eaters. And it popped it out. I think by showing these little practical things first, be like, oh, that's cool, I never really thought of that. Then you can move to be like, hey, I know we're always trying to think of ways to, what do we add on the social media calendar? I saw this really cool demo where, let's say I put one line of a post or, the caption of a past social media post that did really well. But hey, look, we can put in ChatGPT with a simple prompt. It can give us a blog idea. It can give us a webinar idea. It can give us a LinkedIn post. It can give us a Facebook post. It could give us a workshop idea just from that one part. I hope that by showing someone simple things and really seeing the usefulness of it, it will encourage maybe someone that's a little nervous to engage, and just remind them that, hey, this is a tool. We are still in charge. We are the brains. We're the leaders in it. It's not something to be scared of, but to be mindful too that, we are still the humans. We are the ones in charge, and not to, just to lean into that tool. How about you, Juliane?
Yeah, that's a great answer. I completely agree, Lani, that showing a demo, showing what it can actually do and how powerful that outcome can be, it's a really smart way to ease your client into using AI. But this is what we've been talking about today here, right? Who is the human behind the human plus AI? So as the VA, and I'm assuming that that's where the question is coming from, like as a VA, how can you position yourself to your client as the person who will be operating the AI? So they don't need to do that. Sometimes some clients might be scared or a little resistant with using AI because they don't know how to do it. They don't trust it, or they think it's going to be too complicated. USDAI need to, USDVA need to position yourself as the operator of the AI. So you're going to bring the solution to your client, right? And the simplest AI solution. That way, you're not asking the founder to figure it out together with you. The founder will maybe review it, right? And approve at some point. But the majority, if not all of the operation of the AI will be done by the VA. And I feel like that's something that the founders really appreciate from two standpoints, which is first, having more free time on their hands, but also not having to really learn how to use those tools, right? Because it might take some time. It does take some time, actually. So yeah, again, the VA, we are here to do the heavy lifting, right? So yeah, I think that's super helpful too.
So great, Juliane. I'm glad that, brought it back to like the VA's perspective, right? I know as a founder, if I had a VA come to me, my VA, and say like, hey, I know that this is something that's a bottleneck or like a pain point in our operations. I've come up with these solutions. Like, it is so nice to have someone that is not just having to be told what to do, like just like taking tasks, but really trying to think, be proactive, being intentional, and saying like, these are the solutions that I'm coming up with. What do you think of these outputs? I mean, that would be huge. I think then any founder would be like, yes, do it, go. But at the same time, yeah.
At the end of the day, that's what we want to see, right? The outputs. The founders don't have to see this step-by-step behind the scenes. So if we give them a good output and say, yeah, that was made with the help of AI, then that shouldn't be a major issue.
Awesome.
At all, actually.
Okay, well, we are coming up close to the end. I do see one more question, but I do want to make sure that we let people know, hey, like I hope you guys are appreciating all this knowledge we're dropping on you of the importance of humans and AI. And if you are a business owner or leader and you don't have a virtual assistant, I have some good news for you. WiseVAs is running a special. If you scan a QR code that you're going to see, you can get 50% off a 40-hour, so full-time VA for your first month. That is a huge saving. So if you're interested, you can scan it, set up a discovery call. It might be with me. I'm one of WiseVA's sales person that takes the calls, and I can share with you how having a VA would be so amazing. So first step is if you haven't, if you don't have a VA, that needs to happen. And we will tell you some other steps along the way as well. But I do want to get back to this last question, really just a few minutes left here with our time today, is where do you see people overcomplicating AI instead of making things easier? Great question. I'm just going to answer this super quick. Juliane, you jump in if you have anything. Thank you so much, Fritzi. I think people get too overwhelmed and they start going down too many rabbit holes with all the different tools. My suggestion is pick a few basic AI tools. Like you pick either ChatGPT, Gemini, or Claude, and you just you have your VA really understand that. Then you can build upon that. You don't need to do a million things. So I say the AI note taker is one thing, and then you have your ChatGPT that you work with. I mean, you can get into creating images and graphics and videos. Once you master that, then you can start looking into the platform that you can do the automations, like we said, Make or Zapier. But don't get so overwhelmed with all the things, because it's so easy to go down a million rabbit holes. Just focus on understanding the basics, and I think that will take you far. How about you, Juliane?
Perfectly said. I was thinking about the exact same thing.
Awesome.
That's a really big one. Yeah.
Okay, great. So, like I said, if you want support, if you don't have a virtual assistant, please, please, please check out WiseVAs. They give the best. They have such an amazing pool of virtual assistants. They are very strict in who they take to be part of their pool. I've worked with several WiseVAs virtual assistants, and they're all amazing. So please do that. So let's say you have a VA already, okay, or you want to learn more about AI. Please reach out to Juliane and I. We would love to help train your VA or train you on AI automations. If you want to set up some time just to be like, hey, I think what you're saying is really good, but I don't even know where to start. Set up time with us. We would love to help you with that as well. Yeah. Anything else, Juliane, that you want to add?
No, just want to say that if you guys want to connect with us, here is our contact information. I loved participating and sharing some of what we're doing at KM Collective and with clients through WiseVAs as well. So yeah, thanks WiseVAs. Thank you, Lani. And yeah, feel free to reach out and continue the conversation with us too.
Awesome. So again, one last plug here. Check out WiseVAs, scan that QR code that will be popping up soon. Take the next steps. Don't get left behind. And the good thing is, guys, you're still fine. Like if you're even on this webinar thinking about AI, thinking about a virtual assistant, you're still ahead of the game, but don't get left behind. Don't be overtaken by a competitor that's already figuring out ways to scale their business to give themselves more free time. Make sure that you are equipping yourself with the right tools, the virtual assistant plus AI, and you will go super far. So thank you again. Thanks WiseVAs for allowing us, Juliane and I, to share our experience. Again, you yourself don't need to be an AI expert. You just need the right human and the right tools to do it for you. And again, thank you. We hope you have a great day, and we'll see you guys soon. Don't forget that QR code. Thanks. Bye.
We got the brains, the drive, the will, knocking down tasks, going in for the kill. From data to deals, we handle it all, keeping you sharp, standing tall. WiseVAs, your behind the scenes crew, making it happen while you chase what's new. Smart, skilled, always on the grind, freeing your time so you can shine.